Trumpets by Pamela K. Harris. Table of Contents. Chapter 1. The Trumpet. 5. Chapter 2. Different kinds of trumpets. 6. Chapter 3. Brass instruments. 9. Chapter 4. The shape. 10. Chapter 5. Parts of a trumpet. 13. Chapter 6. Playing the trumpet. 15. Chapter 7. The valves. The valves. 16. Chapter 8. Jazz trumpet. 19. Other brass instruments. 21. Glossary. 22. To learn more. 23. Index. 24. Chapter 1. The trumpet. The king is coming. Trumpets blare the news. Long ago, trumpets were played the kings and queens. Their special sound grew to be loved by almost everyone who heard it. The sound of a trumpet is still loved today. Instead of just being played for royalty, trumpets are played almost everywhere. Trumpets belong to a group of instruments called wind instruments. Wind instruments make sounds when air is blown through them. Flutes and trombones are wind instruments too. Horned trumpets like this one are long, skinny, and straight. Chapter 2. Different kinds of instruments. Different kinds of trumpets. Trumpets are very old instruments. In fact, some trumpets were even discovered in a pyramid in Egypt. One trumpet was made of silver. Another was made of bronze. Long ago, most trumpets were made from reeds, horns, or shells. Since they could make such loud noises, trumpets were often used for celebrations. Today, most trumpets are made of brass. And embouchure is the word for the musician's lips on a trumpet. A shofar is a type of trumpet that has been used for thousands of years. Shofars are made from animal horns. Chapter 3. Brass instruments. There are two types of instruments in the wind instrument group. Woodwinds have lots of holes that musicians must open and close with their fingertips. Covering each their hole changes the woodwind's sound. Brass instruments are usually made of metal. They have valves to move the air in different directions. This changes the instrument's sound. Some brass instruments have parts that slide in and out to change the sound. Trumpets belong to a brass group. Players use their right hand to press buttons that control the valves. Chapter 4. The shape. Trumpets from long ago looked very different from the ones we know today. The oldest trumpets were just a straight tube that widened at the end. These instruments were very long and heavy. People had to rest one end on a group to play them. To make trumpets easier to play, instrument begin to bend the tube of a trumpet. Over time, the tube became even more curved. Today, the tube part of a trumpet looks like a flattened letter S. Can you see this trumpet's S shape? Chapter 5. Parts of a trumpet. A trumpet is a hollow tube with a mouthpiece on one end and a flared bell on the other. The bell makes the sound louder, like cupping your hands around your mouth. Sometimes the bell end is blocked with a mute. The mute changes the volume and tone of the sounds the trumpet makes. It makes the trumpet play quieter and with the softer sound. Sketch out a trumpet has more than 6 feet, 1 meter of tubing. There are hooks and loops on a trumpet for your fingers. These help you grip the instrument. Chapter 6. Playing the Trumpet. To play a trumpet, you put your lips on the mouthpiece and make them vibrate. As you blow, you have to blow so that the air goes into the tube. Don't let any air escape from the sides of your mouth. To play the trumpet and buzz your lips together. This trumpet player is blowing air into the mouthpiece. Chapter 7. The Valves. Valves change the sounds or notes a trumpet can make. Pushing a valve down forces the air through the side tube. It travels around, comes back through the main tube, and goes in through the bell. Making the air travel around rather than directly through the bell changes the sound. This is how a trumpet makes different notes. The valves more move up and down to make different notes. Chapter 8. Jazz Trumpet. The trumpet is often played in jazz music. Louis Armstrong was one of the greatest trumpet players of all time. He was one of the first jazz trumpeters to play solo, or by himself. Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis were also famous trumpet players. Jazz music started in New Orleans in the late 1800s. Wynton Marsalis is another famous jazz trumpet player. Trumpets are played in all kinds of music. You can hear them played in orchestras, rock groups, and dance bands. You have probably seen them in marching bands too. Would you like to play the trumpet? Other brass instruments: trombone, bugle, pocket trumpet, flugelhorn, tuba, French horn. Glossary. Bell. A bell is a fourth and a trumpet end of a trumpet. The bell makes the trumpet sound louder. Brass instruments. Brass instruments are played by falling or through a tube, then passing down valves or moving a slide. Trumpets are brass instruments. Mouthpiece. The mouthpiece of a trumpet is where you put your mouth. Blowing air through the mouthpiece creates the trumpet's sound. Solo. When the musician plays solo, he or she plays all alone. Tone is low of more sounds. Trumpets can make many kinds of tones, like the sad tone or happy tone. Valves. This valves on a trumpet change the notes. The trumpet plugs. Pressing down on a valve forces the air inside the trumpet into the side tube. Vibrate. When something vibrates, it moves back and forth. To plug a trumpet, you vibrate your lips on the mouthpiece. Volume is low, loud, or quiet a sound is. Trumpets can play on a very high volume. Wind instruments are instruments that need to have air blown into them to make a sound. Trumpets are wind instruments. Woodwinds are tube-shaped instruments that are played by blowing air into the mouthpiece. Clarinets and flutes are woodwinds. To learn more, in the library. Garenray Antia Brass Instruments, Mankato, Minnesota. Smart Apple Media 2012. Landau Eleni is the trumpet for you. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Lerner Publications 2014. Riggs Kate, Making Music Trumpet, Mankato, Minnesota. Creative Paperbacks 2014. On the web, visit our website for links about trumpets. childswood.com/links. Index. Amazing Armstrong Lewis, 19. Bell, 13:16. Brass instruments, 9:21. Davis Mike, Davis Mike, Davis Miles, 19. Gillespie Daisy, 19. Jazz music, 19. Marcella Winton, 19. Mouthpiece, 13:15. Music, mute, 15. Shape, 10:13. Solo, 19. Sound, 5, 9, 15, 16. Tone, 13. Tube, 10, 13, 15, 16. Valves, 9, 16. Vibrate, 13, 15. Volume, 13. Wind instruments, 5, 9. Woodwinds, 9. About the author. Palma K. Harris grew up in Oregon and currently lives in Denver, Colorado. She directs a non-profit organization that provides early childhood education to children from low-income backgrounds. She has testified before Congress on the importance of early childhood education. She loves being a student herself and has a Ph.D. in educational leadership.